Good morning. Now we're in Ruth's art room as opposed to the laundry room where we were making the gesso earlier. And I just wanted to bring you in here for a real quick demo that I wanted to use our homemade gesso on. And you can use it just like regular gesso. And I actually don't know where I put the full jar of it. Isn't that funny? I have it in a purple mason jar. But this was the leftover that didn't fit in the jar. So I said, well, we're just going to use this. It is nice and thick now. I just kind of let it sit after making it and have my breakfast. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put some texture on this background here. And I love to do that. And later on, I'll follow up on that and put a glaze over top of it. But one of the things I love to use is bubble wrap. It puts such good texture down. And I have two canvases here that need some texture on them. So I'm just going to take a foam brush. And if you ever have foam brushes that you forgot to wash it out right away, and you might just have a little bit on the tip. You can kind of see there's a little bit of white there on the tip. And it hardened. Okay, so foam brushes are not very expensive. So sometimes I don't take the best care of them. So all you have to do, I don't know if you've ever thought of this, but this is what we're going to do, is I'm just going to snip off that hardened tip, throw it away. Now I have a nice, soft, spongy tip again. And I'm just going to use it on gesso. And I think after this use, I'm going to throw this brush away because I'm not going to bother washing it with gesso in it. So here we have, look how thick this is. I'm going to see if I can get it to drip for you. It doesn't, I mean, it's not runny, but it's a really nice consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush the tops of these bubbles. And a foam brush works really well for this because it doesn't have bristles, so it's not as likely to go down in between the bubbles. I'll just set that there. And now I can just take this and press it down. It's a bigger sheet than what I need, but I don't want to cut it because I like this one. You might be able to tell that because it's got all these colors all over it. So here we have some really nice looking bubbles. And I'm going to put a little bit more on that same spot and do the same thing to my other canvas. This was so easy to make. 4 ingredients. If you didn't see it yet, check out my other video where I made the, where's my new pack? I made the gesso. Sorry. I always keep baby wipes on the counter because they will clean up an amazing number of things. They get acrylic paint out of clothing if you do it really quick. They can let you, whoops, that wasn't a good one. Let's go back in for another pass on that. See, now sometimes I get a little carried away with bubble wrap. And I can even take that off. Now, I didn't wait for my paint to exactly dry before doing this gesso. So now some of the paint's coming off, but that's okay. I just wanted to not have bubbles on that particular spot because I really like that grid work. And I did that with just a piece of this counted cross stitch. In fact, I'm going to take some of this gesso and go in and do a little more of that. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Now, that looks like kind of a blob, but you can see the grid work in it. But here's the thing. I also have that on here now. So I can take this, let me find a spot, and put it down and check this out. Let's see. There. That looks kind of cool. See, this other one was a bit much, and maybe I'll just dab some off. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just put some more on here and go back in and push it down right over top of it. Oh, yeah. That was the way to go. But see, you can do all this neat stuff with gesso, and then you wait for it to dry, and you really need to wait for it to dry. It doesn't take that long. And then you can put glazes over it, transparent, washes of color. I can hardly wait. I want to put some of this down in this corner. And that is what I wanted to share with you on this video. Told you I'd keep it short. Okay, so if you like these videos, hit subscribe down in the bottom. That's all it means. It doesn't mean you're going to send me money. Some people have asked me, well, what does that mean, subscribe? It just means you want to see more of my videos. And then if you hit that little bell, it'll come up and tell you when I have a new one posted. Alrighty? Thanks for tuning in.